Hey, welcome to my bedroom. I never ever thought I'd be filming a how-to hair video in my bedroom, but weird times we're living in and I'm slightly bored, and I thought that it would be fun to film a little how-to video about tips and tricks that you can do at home. What I'm going to do today is clip in extensions and then curl the extensions. I know a lot of hairdressers out there probably know how to clip in extensions and they're like, but it's mainly for if you don't know how to do it, a different way of doing it, or any of my clients. I know there's a couple of my clients that I use extensions on and I cut them, and they normally come into the salon, they bring the extensions back in and then I clip them in for them. And I teach them, but it might be nice to have it on video now so they can do it at home while they've got lots of time on their hands. So this is my model and my lovely flatmate, and she's also my best friend, Danny. And yes, so let's get started. The funny thing about this video as well, I have an Adam Reed salon gown, and Adam's probably watching this video thinking, how the hell did he get that gown? And no, I never stole it. I think it just somehow ended up in my bag. I'm sorry, but it looks good and it's working out. So what I'm going to do, I've prepped the hair. We've kept it nice and smooth. Then what I'm going to do is find the pattern. So Danny, what side are we wearing it today?
To this side.
This side. Is that the right? The right side. So as you can see, I did prep it. She doesn't wake up looking like this with all this volume. That looks good. Okay. So once you've got your part in, what we're going to do is we're going to section off a radial section. So boom, get rid of from behind the ear, boom, behind the ear. Okay, fabulous. And I'm going to turn Danny round, and so you can see what I'm doing from the side. I just smacked her in the head. Right, okay. God, I'm going to definitely be getting into it. James Charles, watch out, baby girl. I'm coming for your job. Okay, so I could actually do this with a tail comb. Let's do this with a tail comb. Voila, like so. So I would probably say this is probably how you would put in tape extensions, like any form of extension. You would go slightly above the hairline, but not too above the hairline. If you go too above the hairline, what you'll find is this little baby will poke out underneath the extension, and then you'll see the join of your hair and then the extension, and honey, that ain't cute. So we're going to, yeah, I think that'll be quite cute. And then if the wind blows, or she was out in the club, she ain't going to be out in the club in this video, but we normally go out to the club and she loves to dance. A little trick as well, what I normally do is sometimes I braid this hair away and then I clip the extensions onto the braids, because this girl loves to dance. And if they're clipped onto braids, then they don't budge at all. But I thought, let's start baby steps, people. Let's start off, for me and for you at home, let's start off slowly and we can work our way up. So obviously I'm doing this very neatly. I'm doing a tail comb and being very precise. But if you were doing this at home, basically all you want to do is like grab your hair. So this is your occipital bone. Just go underneath your occipital bone and then twist that away with a clip and then leave that hair out, okay? But like, so feel that bump on your head, go underneath the bump. Don't go on the bump, okay? So we're going to start off with, we've got twos. I've coloured these extensions, I don't know if I said earlier, but I've coloured these extensions to try and match the ends of Danny's hair. I feel like I've done quite a good job. We're in lockdown and supplies were hard, so I did what I could. So yeah, I've separated them into twos, threes, fours and ones, singles. They're clips, so that's how we're going to stack them. So what we're going to do is stack the two in here, okay? So, like, voila. I'm going to use some SamMcknight Easy Updo. It's a texturising spray. It's so bloody good. I'm just going to spray that in right at the root area. And then grab a tail comb. Think about where your clips are going to be going. and then go in. Not too much, just like a thin little section. I don't know if you can see that. You can see that. Like so. Yeah. Okay. Then you just back home. Right to the root. So like until it's right. You're not trying to create like volume or like do a beehive. You're just trying to create like a foundation for them clips to stick into. Voila. Also, Danny was like brown about 3 weeks ago. She had like her winter colour. Now we're going into a summer colour. So the blonde is a progress that we're working towards. So go underneath the back comb in, clip. And go underneath the, like in against the scalp, underneath the back comb in, clip. If they're like, ow, that hurts, then you just remove it. But it needs to be sturdy because when they're out dancing, you don't want no clips flying out. Okay, so look, lift up, voila. So you can't see where the clip starts or finishes. So we're going to take our next section. I suppose if you were doing that at home, yeah, you just feel the back, like pinch the back comb and then try and go back in underneath the back comb. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit higher now because we're going to go into threes. Are we going to go to threes? Yeah, we're going to do 3, 3. Let's do threes and then do a 4, 4. So yeah, don't go too high, but yeah. Let's go. Probably a centimetre. Yeah, a centimetre above your last section. Clean that up. I'm going to take this tail comb again. Voila. I wanted to play some music, but you can't play music because it interferes with the sound, so I was like, okay, that's that gone. But in the salon, if the music goes off for like 1 second or like the music's rubbish, I'm like, excuse me, can we change this music? I definitely work to like a good music, like a good track. Definitely be like something like Beyonce, something a little bit camp. Okay, so next we're going to go in with a 3 clips. We're going to go, I like lay it out, see it works. It's getting very close to the edge, but I also don't want to leave too much of a gap of hair here, because if I leave too much of a gap here, then when it falls, you'll see her natural hair. And like I said earlier, this ain't cute. So back in with the SamMcknight Easy Updo, which is texturizing spray, in at the root, voila. Lay out your clips. So I'm doing 1 in the middle, 2 at the side. So I'll do my middle one first. Here. Here. Okay. But like you see, there's obviously backcombing, so it's come width. There's width on it, but we're not backcombing it out, so like it sticks. We're not doing like a French roll or a French pleat or anything like that. We don't need that much backcombing. So I'll pop that comb down, go underneath into backcombing against the scalp, clip. In, clip. In, clip. Perfect. And then always give them a little tug, because I just think, imagine they were out with their friends and somebody hugged them and their extension fell out. Honey, night over, night cancelled. So make sure you can give them a tug and they're not going anywhere. We're getting somewhere, look at all that length. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work up through here. I'm going to go into another 3, and then the closer I go to the head, I'll do some 4s, and I'll come into my sides. You don't, I've separated at the moment, but you don't want to keep it as side, back and side, because what you'll do is you'll get a gap here, so you need to make sure you combine the extensions to merge it all together as one. So yeah, I'm just going to go through this now, work through it, and go into my 3s, into my 4s, and match the sides. Now I'm working onto the side, so this is a 4 now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join this side into the back, okay? So what you want to do is I've worked on a slight diagonal, because what you don't want is the extension to show. The crown sometimes has a tendency to split. So what you don't want is on a night out, or like when you're out, the crown splits and then you can see the track. That's not cute. So you always need to go a lot lower than your crown. You can go quite high with your parting, because your parting normally lays flat and stays where it's meant to stay, but your crown area will move around. So make sure your extensions are not too close to your crown. So basically what I've done is I've kind of worked a little bit higher here, and I don't know if you can see, it's very, very slightly, but it just kind of drops off around there. And at the back down here, if you turn your head, I'm actually going to cross this line. So this was where I split it down the middle. I'm actually going to cross it, and then so you see, and then on the other one with the other 4, I'll do the same thing, so the merge is seamless, so you can't really see anywhere the natural hair is falling. Okay, so let's go. Spray. Also, you want to keep out like an inch probably from the hairline, so you want to keep that away, because you don't want to see the extension. If they run their hands through their if they run their fingers through their hair or something like that. So just go in right to the scalp and then clip underneath. Make it try and lie as flat as possible. Put your head up. That's perfect. With the next clip though, I'm going to go a little bit closer into the hairline, because you can see her hairline slightly on an angle anyway from there. There's not really any right way or wrong way to put extensions in. The trick is that you make sure you don't go too high, you don't go too close to the hairlines, and your extensions are never in the same place. They're always interlocking and crossing. And that way, you shouldn't be able to see them, and when they fall, you shouldn't see any gaps. Which is the key to long Goldilocks hair. Oh girl, look at that hair. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to move over to the next side and do the same on the other side. I'm going to turn Danny around so you can see that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the exact same thing I did on my other side. So split, so start quite low around the crown area and then come round on a slight diagonal going higher around the hairline. Perfection. Perfecto. I'm going to go a tiny little bit higher with this side because the parting's higher, and we've only got a 4 and then 3 more singles, so I need to make sure I stack it so you can't see her actual hair sitting on top of the extension. That's another trick as well. People always get worried when they're putting extensions in to make sure you don't see the baseline from underneath, but you also don't want to see the baseline from on top, because it just looks like a really dodgy layer that you've left hanging. So you need to make sure the extensions are staggered throughout the head evenly, so the seam from the natural hair to the extension is seamless. Do you like having extensions in? Like, when you've got them in, what does it make you feel like? Beyonce.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
Just like Beyonce. That's how I'm getting through this quarantine. I think, what would Beyonce do? And what is she doing?
Yeah, I wish I knew.
I think she's probably just playing with her kids, writing some music.
Imagine if out of this a new Beyonce album comes. It would make it all worth it.
What's it called? Cody. What's it? COVID-19 album.
By Beyonce.
That was a struggle, wasn't it? Right, so back in with the SamMcknight Easy Updo texturizing spray. Oh, try not to spray it in your client's eye. They will not like it if they go blind. Okay. So we're on to the clip 4s. Yep. So around this side, I'm just going in a little bit further into the head because I didn't do that. I needed more hair to cover my extension. Perfect. So remember, just leave out that hair there. Through the back here, the extension is basically sitting on, I don't know if you can see that, but like this is the extension here and this is the hair. So through the back near the crown, the extension is basically sitting on the other extension. There's no hair in between it. It just means that it will sit low enough so when the crown falls over, we ain't gonna see the track. Let's just open up your clips. Always start at the hairline as well. So I always start around the back, I always start at the middle and work my way out, or around the hairline I always start at the front first. So you know it's going to lie nice and cute, and then you can make it fit in around the back. That's all secure. As you can do as well, when I'm combing the extensions, use a tangle teaser or a wide tooth comb, something quite gentle on the hair that's not going to like pull out the extension and put too much tension on it. And when you're combing as well, you see I'm holding the clips, just because obviously they're secure, but they're not like super secure. If you keep going, you can pull them out. Okay, voila. This is looking cute, girl. Right. There. So now I'm going to go in. I'm just going to stay on this side because I'm working on this side. I've got 3 singles left. So I'm going to stack 2 singles in here. And then on my other side, I'm going to stack 1 single because my pattern's slightly off. Okay. So you just want to go in quite high, but not too high. And like what I'm kind of doing is I place it there, and in my head I kind of think like, what would she do on a night out? Like, I know Danny moves her hands to her hair quite a lot, so I can't go too high with them because she'll end up ripping the track out, like the clip-in, but I need to make sure I go high enough so I don't see any blend. But I think I'm going to go around here. I don't think I'm going to go much higher than here. And as you can see, I'm going pretty close. I'm going a bit closer than I did with my other one. So my other one probably started around here, and then my other one starting here. So I'm kind of staggering it, if you can see what I mean. Okay, what I am going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of root touch up and just paint it on this extension just to make that blend. Sorry, Danny just had a little bit of a season fit, so we stopped the camera. We're back on. We're back on. Back in the game. You can probably hear that lovely police car in the background. Such a peaceful neighbourhood we live in, isn't it? Lovely. Jubbly. Okay, drop. So what you want to do is when she's out, like having a good old dance, you can't see any tracks. And then from the front, you can't see her layer like kicking off. That all merges as one long piece of hair, which is beautiful. I'm going to do the other one off camera and then we'll come back and then we'll curl it, okay? Thanks guys, bye!